Welcome back to another episode. Um, Today is February 4th. What we're going to do is talk about Michigan's uh, big time victory over Little Bro at the Breslin. Um, Tough road, gritty win that they were able to pull out. I'm also going to talk about the Pistons and a little bit of trade deadline action they got going. As right now, there's probably about I'd say what 16 more hours before the trade deadline, give or take. So see if the move that they made, if there's going to be more coming. Also talk about just how they played the last couple weeks. If I'm not mistaken, they've won 9 of the last 11 quietly. So yeah, got a lot to dive into basketball side of things. But I'll kick it over to you, Eats. Want to see your thoughts on the Michigan State game this past Friday night.
No, just a great victory. I would say made it a little more hard than it had to be. We came out the gates firing on all beating the shit out of them. Quite honestly, they looked shell shocked, and then we just let them sneak back into the game, hover around when we could have really stomped them out. We kind of were stomping them out in the first half. We could have really put an end to that, but we kind of let them linger around, hang around, and make more of a game than it had to be. But with that being said, defense stepped up when they had to. We hit shots when we had to. McKinney, the freshman, big time plays. He's beginning to really step into the light.
Yeah,
Doe, big time shot maker, pretty good point guard overall. So I think we are, we're just really flowing, and that was great to see. One of the more tough road environments you can step into. So, not a whole lot of negative comes from me on my end.
yeah. No, with you there. I mean, I think I like how they're able to, like you said, start the game off. Imagine two rivalry games, they was gonna make a run, but that one was a little like concerning because it was kind of crazy. I was kind of listening to the game as I was riding home from somewhere, and when I left where I was at, it was like 47-22 or something like that, or like 42 to it was about 18, 15 to 18 point lead, give or take, something like that. I remember
Mm-hmm.
exactly. But when I got home, I'm like, oh, it's like a 2 point lead now. So they were able to really, really make things pretty interesting. Took the lead for a good minute and a half. But yeah, like you said, Cadeau hitting big shots with the Trey Burke number 3 on. Um, Yaxel Lindenborg, he looked himself. We talked about he's looking a little gimpy the last couple of games, but I think they said Dusty said he only ran 2 plays for him. He still found a way to have 26 and 12. Um, Team was just, I mean, they had a lot of
Yeah.
guys just contributing. Whereas Johnson, big fella Mara, McKinney hit a big corner 3. When the game was when they were kind of like fighting the run. Like you said, no
Yeah.
complaints.
Put the ball on the floor. Took in a big time moment. Put the ball on the floor. Whoever their buff ass little point guard was, like a shot put dude or something. He, yeah, no, he. We got multi level players that can score from any level. So no, I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
The one thing I will say that just the area of concern that I would point out. I'm not sure if you would agree with this or not agree with this, but I think when Cadeau is not in the game, the offense seems to stall. I think
yeah,
uh,
I
for as
agree.
for as great as McKinney is, he doesn't seem to be much of a create the like a playmaker that you can just give the ball to and have him basically run point guard for you. Yeah, it looks like that is the only player on the team that we have that can consistently do that. And so you would want to see Yaxel step up and maybe run more of that point forward position when those times are upon us, where he can kind of be more of a playmaker, facilitator. But that's the one thing I've seen. I don't have the analytics on this, but I felt like a vast majority of that comeback came when he was stepped out of the game for a while, and
hmm
and we were just struggling on offense. So it's
Yeah, yeah. He don't really have I mean, Casey is solid, but he's still young. Um, and I don't know. I think he's kind of strikes me more as like a score first kind of point guard. Like, you don't see a ton of like playmaking from him at least quite yet. So yeah, it's He plays quite a few minutes. I imagine we get closer and closer to tourney time, and probably looking to shorten those stints when he is out of the game, just to make sure things are solid on that side of the ball, or just when it comes to that. But yeah, that I think turnovers. It's also something that's a
Yeah, it's
little bit of
concerning.
concern.
It is. Well, it is definitely. I think another thing I don't have the analytics on, but I know we play extremely fast, and I think because of that, we probably have two like hell. I don't know what you would officially call it, but two Hail Marys a game that sell out of bounds. Where we get the center gets the rebound and just chucks it down to a guy running down the court, and it just happens to bounce out of bounds, skip off his hands, and then that same scenario, we have 3 easy dunks a game. So I think
Yeah,
our turnovers coming. I say all that to say a lot of them are bad turnovers, but a lot of them are also just aggressive play, and so I think you need to figure out a way to shore those up, clean those passes up, and I think those 2 turnovers could quickly turn into 4 more fast break points because I'm telling you, a lot of those
hmm
only got out of bounds. The other thing I noticed that we do, all those easy dunks we're getting, if you notice, whoever is guarding the shooter, when that shot is missed, that guy is always the one who gets the easy dunk.
yeah,
Yeah, I noticed. So they know that shooter's going to stay around or stay around that 3-point line or crash for the rebound, and they are just taking off. And I know teams are probably picking up on that, but it's also such counterproductive to probably what a lot of these offensive players are taught. That I mean, how many also times does the ball ricochet right back in that second three, the person smacks and hits? So you're sitting there thinking offensively, and while your guys leaking back defensively for the easiest bucket. So that is kind of our whole equation, just how the fast pace. So I think those
yeah,
turnovers do need to get cleaned up, but those are going to happen when
yeah.
you
I think too. Like you can probably live with like 10 to 12 turnovers a game. I think when it starts to get to like 16, 17, 18, that's when it can get a little problematic.
for sure.
So I think like that's something, but I think, like you said, the pace they play, 10 to 12 turnovers. I mean, that's you can live through 4 to 5, 4, 5, 6 a half. Like you said, just off of taking some shots or just like trying to push the ball down the court and got another teammates to put on the ball, or obviously you'll have kind of some of those boneheaded ones. Somebody just kind of like drops a pass out of bounds or steps on the line when they're driving.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
always kind of be around too. But yeah,
Offensive foul, screen. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. You're
yeah,
gonna those are naturally gonna come. And no, I agree. If you can keep that as close to the single digits as possible, I mean, the sky's the limit for this team. You look at what we did to state. They shot 37%. I'm rounding that up, but 37% from the field, 17% from three.
yeah,
Uh, we pretty much lined them up in every category. They got us in total rebounds. We got them in assists, blocks, same turnovers, a little more. I think and we hit 8 of 11 threes. I think that was or 8 of 11. I wish 8 of 21 from three, and they were 4 of 23. So I think we spoke on that being one of the key points of that game, and that is pretty much how we played out. We more or less were both in the same ballpark for that score. So,
yeah.
kudos to us for
Hey,
I guess trying to,
beat down on them so bad, created a
yeah,
2 game losing streak. They just
we
went
broke
down
them.
at Minnesota 73, 70, 70, 76, 73. So
Yeah, keep
time was
the
indeed not on to Minnesota. You still got a little bit of a Michigan hangover there. But
and
yeah, nonetheless,
it was coming. You know it was coming when it's still talked about midweek. Their fans are still upset. Izzo's still talking about it. Dusty May's bringing it back up. Their head wasn't in. You know, they they wanted that one bad. It was so on the road. Obviously, I think we played in the last game of the year. They come over to Ann Arbor, so I mean, not if they keep losing, but that could be for the Big Ten right there. So
no, for sure. No, definitely. Yeah, no, we'll see in due time. I got a couple solid matchups coming up here. Penn State, I mean Penn State played them pretty tough when it was in at Happy Valley. We'll see how that game is. Believe it's nice. I love when 6:30. tip off. Can't beat it. 6:37, can't beat it.
That is nice.
Then they got to go to Ohio now. 1 o'clock on Sunday. So they got some interesting matchups. That'll be a big test. You'll get their best punch. So we'll just see how they progress here these next couple of weeks. Conference championship. We got that. I thought the Duke matchup was sooner, but that's the 21st. You got that
Yeah,
coming. Go to Purdue, as well. Before that, you got some. It's gonna be exciting to see how they're
big
able
time games
to
coming up.
weather the storm these next few weeks. And I like, a good test this past Friday for sure. But yeah, no, we'll shift gears here. Detroit Pistons, a lot of good news from that side of things. I think since last time we were on, Jalen Duren named an All-Star. Jalen Duren also going to be in the dunk contest. Um, Asar Thompson named Defensive Player of the Month, I
Yep.
believe. I don't know if Bickerstaff was All-Star coach last time, announced coach last time we were on here.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
remember, but
Yeah, a lot of accolades. Yeah, it also had a trade, recently, and you got a little bit more time here too to see if there might be some more action going on there when it comes to the trade market. But yeah, we'll start with the trade market. Just wanted to kind of see thoughts on Ivy for Herter, Saric, and pick swap. See your thoughts.
yeah. So I guess first and foremost, I guess I'll say this. I heard something the other day about Detroit Pistons, Detroit sports fans that said we fall in love with the role players, and I thought that was kind of funny. But I would say that's kind of not kind of how I feel about this, but also not. I think he has the ability to be a multi perennial type all-star player. I really do. We sat here, you go back and watch this podcast a couple years ago, we were big on him. We were coming down to him, Benedict Mathurin. We were sitting there
Yeah,
diving how many three-pointers they hit and their fucking shoe size. And we were on it. We all the way up to his mom coaching at Notre Dame. Like we know a lot about that kid and knew how and had his Detroit ties and knew all that. So I think nothing against him personally. I think he's a great player. I think that injury just derailed a lot of the plans that were going. I think and it happened. I said this right before we hopped on. I think that injury going down last January, simultaneously as Cade and the Pistons took off,
hmm,
worst thing you can happen to a young player pre-big contract. They get that big contract, there's a reason to keep you around and figure it out. Pre-contract, this is already kind of moving and shaking without you really in the mix.
yeah.
So I think that all come to a front, and then going to finding Dennis Jenkins out of nowhere, and finding
Devontae Green.
Green out of nowhere, and guys who, I mean,
One year, 2.4 million, by the way.
yeah, that's crazy, and hungry and looking for that, and on draft and looking at Ivy like he's a prima donna, like it's in you ran into that type of situation, and those boys didn't play, and I think all of that just kind of came to a herd on top of the fact that we think you were going to walk this. You said what?
Prima donna.
No, I'm just saying they're looking at him as like, hey, we was a week away from selling insurance.
No, for sure. Yeah, it's like
You
you put the up like we're competing to get on this court. Yeah,
right. And all that, and the last thing I say about this is, I've ultimately get what I think about it, but all that, and then you take the fact that there wasn't good vibes of him wanting to resign here, wasn't good vibes of us giving him a contract of what he's worth, and he kind of wants to go out and cook somewhere else to see what he can do. So all of that came to a herd, and we got Kevin Huerter because of that. So I think it's just
yeah.
And then the last thing I'll say regarding him is I think we are looking to end the lulls in offense that we have when Cade sits on the bench, when that second unit is in, who are dogs defensively but need some firing power consistently, and looking to have just that second, third hand of just barrage of 3-point shots coming up. So you're gonna have Duncan Robinson, Tobias, the two primary. Whoever once one of them boys are off, I'm sure we're gonna change the rotation and send Kevin right in. And you got three shots. You better hit one of these bad boys, or we'll see you next game. And yeah, so I guess overall, I see what they're trying to do. It sucks to lose Ivy because I think talent for talent is not a match, but maybe
Right.
play style for what we need and trying to compete and win now, it might be a better fit.
I agree. Yeah,
It's
no, I'm
tough.
with you there. Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I think it's we'll see if it like raises the ceiling or it ends up just kind of like being a little redundant to what we already had with Ivy. I feel like overall it's going to just come down to if Herter can shoot the ball consistently. You know, he's a little bit off the slow start. He shot quite a few more than Ivy, but I personally like the clip that Ivy was at. You know, but I think or what he was shooting it at, even though he shot about 120 and less threes, give or take. But like you said, I think the biggest thing was it just needed to change the scenery, which it could have been anywhere besides
Came right down the street.
Chicago. So now we got
Yeah,
to see him 4 times a year. You know, probably average, you know, about a good 20 to 20, you know, get fed the ball. I mean,
yeah.
you know,
He
they got
actually
some solid, yeah, they got some solid pieces. You know, he'll, you know, get some more minutes. Yeah, wish him the best. But yeah, no, it'd be interesting to kind of see how things look with Herter. I know he's a career 37% three-point shooter. I just need to him coming out firing. We need the spacing to be, you know, it needs to be a
tough.
certain way for Cade to do what he needs to do. And I don't know, you know, we'll see if he can maybe recreate a little bit what Beasley gave us as far as being able to shoot.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's kind of more like a one-trick pony. Beasley he drives to the cup for you a little bit, but you need Herter, you know, 15 minutes, you get off six or 5 to 6. Can you hit 2 to 3 a night consistently? That'll make a difference. It's freezing. Oh,
yeah. No. I think you're spot on. And the thing I'll say about his game here, not that I follow him all that closely, but I remember him down in Atlanta when it cylinders. I think he was on that team that made with him and Trey. So I more to that playing style where
yeah,
I guess I don't know what he's needed, what he was required of him in Chicago, but where there's not an alpha in that room versus having a very structured Cade. Like we need you to stand in this corner and shoot fucking 5 threes tonight. That's
yeah.
what your job is. We don't need to do nothing else. No more, nothing less. Just simplify it down for him, play in a real good structure, and I that's what my hopes and thought is. And then just clear that middle up, keep it open for Jaden. I keep saying Jaden. Now I'm stuck in my head, but keep it open for Duran. Keep it open for Cade. Keep it
Yeah,
open for Asar and Ron Howard, and just hopefully, like you said, get consistent. If you can hit that 1.5 to 2 a night for us, right around that 35-37%, I think that'd be prime. And then,
that Robinson shooting
round
40.
two. Mm-hmm. And
Robinson
then
shooting.
round two, why not go crazy for us and hit that, get that 6 to 10 for us and let it, close it out or some shit.
Yeah,
Let's have
you
that big
got
game.
you got Dennis Jenkins. He's quietly shooting it around 40%.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine Sass has got to be in that 33, 34. You know, probably around that
Yeah.
range too. So yeah,
And we know the game plan. We know same, and not that skating Cade is LeBron. But how do you win with LeBron? You surround that motherfucker with shooters. Let him dish and dive. How do you win with Luca? Surround him by shooters. Let him figure out what he's gonna do. I think that's
Harden.
how you
Yeah,
win with Cade. You surround him by shooters, and they have a decision. Do you want him to have 40 from 40 and 5 from dunks, or do you want him to have 30 and 10 and 10 from dishing it? So it's kind of pick your poison. And I think that's the game plan, and we're going full throttle for that. What are your thoughts on whether we're going to make a move? I think the biggest piece we would have now, the next logical piece to move to me would probably be, if you're going to move anybody, be Tobias Harris, another guy that like just a good savvy vet, putting up like 14 and 5, can hit the three. Any playoff team would want him. Any rebuilding team would probably want him because he has an expiring contract and he ain't gonna come there and make a big mess. Is that somebody you think is worth the risk of dishing out, or do you kind of want to roll with him and maybe resign him, maybe lose him? How do you kind of feel about that?
I don't know, man. It'd be interesting to see what they do. I do think it'd be because now it's like you're able to address shooting. Can you get a little more versatile at that spot? Get 3 and D wing kind of guy. Like you said, it's expiring contract. Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I also feel like, man, like I get it. We losing free agency, but he's a very critical piece of this team. Like I think he does a lot when things start to get a little shaky out of hand. Team goes on a run. I think he makes like solid plays. So it's just I don't know.
They hit a
I
big three
feel
last
like
night.
yeah, I feel like I'm like like I was saying this to get like too attached to players. I just think the chemistry is just so strong, man. Where I'm kind of like I think it was right of him to go. I just like hope we're just kind of careful of who we ship off if we do ship off to people just to make sure we're not shaking up too much. Because I mean, I think it'd be great, MPJ, Trey Murphy, we're here to get a guy of that caliber. I don't know. I can't imagine. I don't know if those guys are in the possibility or not, but like Tobias brings a lot to the table. He can also get you like 15 to 18 consistently, plays some good defense, and just has that veteran presence. So I don't know. I didn't really answer your question, but I'd say expiring contract probably be the best to
No,
move him.
I agree. I guess my point is I actually second a lot of that. It's such a tough decision because you don't want to blow the chemistry up, and I do think not to say this is all it sounds really cliche or whatever, but I do think he's like a solid locker room guy. I seen the other day he had his 1,000th career game. He talked about how just how you know he doesn't feel that old, but how great it is to be with the team, and he put it all back on the squad. So I think he's one of them guys. He's been around a lot of playoff experience. I wouldn't want to go. I agree with you. I would hate to blow it up for something crazy and soak up all that salary cap and all that for not
Yeah.
work. It would suck if in the middle of the summer he left us and went to the Lakers. It would, but I do think we have that is free up $25 million with a young team, and we can go out and kind of play a market again and figure out what we need and go get you know Michael Beasley putting sign for $25 million next summer. I can guarantee you that. So we probably sign Beasley for like 1 year, $10 million next year or something. So I think you play that type of market in because I say this, I'll say it again. We have the guy. Cade is the guy, and he's locked up to 2030. It's
Yes.
keeping books clean and keeping everybody else around him. So I actually second a lot of that as far as just
So I was thinking like, what if he does stay? Maybe he signs like a team friendly deal. I mean, you obviously you want guys to get their money. I mean, sometimes guys like this and these kind of teams they get overpaid just off of like, you know, I mean, I think I always thought about Harris was a great player. I think got a lot of slack for being like maybe like not playing all that well on like playoff caliber teams, which I think is kind of like it's kind of hard to do that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you have a couple bad playoff games, but everybody has bad playoff games, and it's the playoffs. So I feel like he
yeah.
means a lot
And
more to
we
this
don't
team.
need him to have solid games, but just play your role. Just
Yeah,
don't fall off the face of the earth. We got
right.
just
Yep.
um
So yeah, we'll see though, man. I mean,
no,
I
and
think
I think we
Trey Murphy kind of upgrade. Michael Porter Jr. I don't know what Michael Porter Jr.'s contract is. You would think I would have looked at it by now as much as he's been talked about. I might have. I think I kind of forgot, but I want to
I
just
have
see
looked
what
it
he
up.
is.
It's fat. It's a fat contract.
How much is? You remember it?
It like 180 million or something. It was
Yeah, yeah. It's I don't know,
yeah.
man. We'll see. I mean, like I said, I don't think these. I mean, these. I don't think these. I don't know. You never know. We can wake up and have it happen overnight. We got a lot of time. I do think things been getting kind of weird already. You got Utah doing stupid stuff. Things just don't make any
Yeah.
sense.
No, for sure. So let me just throw these names. I think we got a couple minutes. That'd be a good little thing I just came up with. So nothing's legit yet, but this is the expected players in buyout. Let me know if you want any of them. Chris Middleton.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
They said that's expected. I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
Ball handler. You play wing.
And then Zach LaVine.
Zach LaVine give you 18 to 20.
Yeah. So I think we could live in this if we don't make a move, live in this buyout market, be real aggressive in that. And
Zach LaVine, 6-man.
I ain't mad at it.
Bro.
Yeah. So I think you hang out on that. Yeah. Zach LaVine would be nice. Yeah, you hang out in that buyout market.
Is that all that's on there?
Yeah, it had those, and then Chris Paul.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
next.
Yeah. You don't want Chris Paul? Hey, what if we got Chris Paul's ring? What if we got Chris Paul?
We got man.
He'll be all the way in the finals and his hamstring will rip off the fucking wing.
Oh my gosh.
He cursed, low key.
He is. He really is.
But no, that's interesting. So no, I think overall it sucks to see Ivy go, but I think it's just nature of the game, nature of the beast. If anybody else goes, I think it will be Tobias Harris, but I think that'd be them being a little more aggressive, and I think they really will be.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see,
Especially
man.
because I think Zach LaVine returns your call if you give him a call. I think we get a better scenario than damn near anywhere else.
I mean, we're in a category now. You think like I mean we came from 28 straight losses all the way to like we're a contender now. Like teams get considered, players consider teams that are the 1 seed that are a piece away. I mean, we're like a Rasheed Wallace type acquisition. And I don't know, you know where I'm at as far as expectation wise. This stuff is kind of becoming kind of an interesting reality and how things have turned around in less than 2 years. Literally.
It is. No, it's becoming a real reality. And I think we gotta operate within that. And I think that's
Yeah. So I don't know, nothing crazy.
just playing it smart. So no,
Nothing crazy. We got through the first one unscathed. Just, one player. There hasn't. We'll see if there's a multi-player deal tomorrow or something like that. But we'll see. I do hope they still do want them to be patient, play it safe.
You don't want to store the kitchen sink for Giannis?
They'd have like they'd be doing a raffle for like people to rotate in to play that night after, like each night for Giannis. We got Giannis.
Like Dennis Jenkins, we need to call everybody on your G League team from last year.
Yeah. Motor City Cruise is 11th through 15th man. Just take the best ones.
That's hilarious. But no. One of the best, second best record in the NBA, number 2 team in the country for basketball. So we riding high in basketball.
Yeah.
We'll be back at you next week.
Peace.